Are you able to hear me, Purnimaji?
Yes, yes, I am. Am I in the middle? Is it appropriate or should I put
Yes, yeah,
my?
you are in the middle. That's fine.
Okay, okay, good.
Maybe little you can raise your little bit the camera down, or we both need little
This way?
less. Little, yeah, I think now little more less. You're almost your head is hitting. Yeah, I think yes, perfect.
And the lighting and everything is okay?
Yes,
Okay, good.
Kalesh, are you there? Is it too early for you, Purnimaji?
No, no, no. It is about 9:30 here. I already finished one webinar on golf in India.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, and actually I double booked. So because you were, I told you 2 weeks ago, so I'm missing on another one, but I told them I'll join late.
Awesome. I think I'll not take more
Starts at
than.
the same time. It starts at 9:30. So
Okay. Awesome. 1 minute, I'll call him. What is going on?
sure.
Purnimaji, we have 2 more minutes.
Sure.
So I think I went through all your biography, and really, it's. I think we started this in 2000, Purnimaji.
2004.
2004.
2005 officially, but we started our efforts in 2004.
So you do anything apart from this, Purnimaji?
Lot of philanthropic work. I'm an ambassador for peace, so I work on peace between Israel and Palestine, on peace initiative between South Korea and North Korea. So I'm with 371 world leaders
Wow.
that work on global peace. I've been a United Nations SDG 16 awardee because I started a Brother Sister Day, World Rakhi Day, to promote brotherhood and sisterhood practices uh, by bonding people together. A concept from India, but very well placed here from corporate America point of view. So started that because that is going to be, there is economic development through it, because
Mhm.
there will be creation of jobs, and all the craftsmen, artisans that are making stuff will be sold on Rakhi website. So there's an whole economic business plan with it, and I'm going to Modi ji with it so that he can take it to world, just like World Yoga Day, he can do World Rakhi Day.
So you'll have an interaction with the Prime Minister quite often, or how is that?
Very soon, as soon as I go to India, I'll present the whole project to him. And
Awesome.
once he creates that for the world, I'll nominate him for Nobel Peace Prize for creating peace in the world.
Wow, Nobel Prize. I
So,
think
but
that is a
but don't bring
huge
this
one.
up in this life thing, because this is still yet to happen.
That would be great, actually.
Yes,
Yeah,
I thought if either I can do it myself and receive all that accolades, but I think it's our if we give the baton to our leader, he'll do it a good job, and I think he needs to lead the world, not me. So that's the reason I decided that it's better to give than receive at times, and this is a perfect moment for him to be glorifying India with his efforts.
all these movements will take an year, or how is that? Is there any nomination every year? It happens Nobel Prize, or is there any?
Every year, I think it happens every year. It is in Oslo, and there is a whole team that
Okay,
selects based on there are many world leaders, as you know. Obama received that, and uh, so many others. So it's a tough competition, but I'm very much sure that Modi ji will win based on brotherhood and sisterhood and creating a camaraderie across the world. I
definitely.
think that will take preceding over everything else.
I think he has a great following now.
Yes,
Definitely
I think
among
he has respect from
community.
all the whole world. And
Yeah.
if we there are some people that are working completely against him, even in the United States, where they are actually there is like agency that is working on against him.
Oh, is it?
So oh yes, there is a lot going on that why do you think every day we hear Congress and others there is a big pitch here. uh,
Mm.
So millions are being spent on demoralizing him, demotivating him, ruining his name. But I think he's a tough cookie. He won't care about anything. He'll
Priya?
continue to do what he's doing.
Oh, you want Purnimaji to little down? Okay. Purnimaji, you have to. No, 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 no. You have to. Yeah, that little bit more. Is it okay, Lalish?
Should I put my computer on some elevation? Will that help?
I think it is fine. Okay. Right. Okay. Right. Okay. We are starting then. Huh? Okay. Purnimaji, we are ready to start.
Okay, I'm
Okay.
ready.
Welcome to Mana TV and TV5. You are watching Insight with Praveen Puram. Today, our esteemed guest, Purnima Voria. So today's our topic is NUICC. What is this organization all about? What is this National US India Chamber of Commerce? What does Purnima do for bilateral trade between India and US? We will learn more from Purnimaji. Welcome to the show, Purnimaji.
Namaste and good morning to everyone.
Let me introduce you to the audience, and definitely I'm very glad that I'm introducing you with a powerful story here. Purnimaji is a founder and CEO of National US India Chamber of Commerce. She an international organization that promotes the bilateral between USA and India. It is also recognized as one of the top international business organizations where members meet with visionary business and government leaders from US and India help their companies better compete in new dynamic global economy and enhance trade relations. The membership of NUICC spans across the wide spectrum of industries with direct membership strength of approximately 9,200 members. Anyway, we'll learn more about this NUICC directly from Purnimaji, and I would like to talk about more about her achievements. In 2004, Ms. Voria was appointed by US Secretary of Commerce Gary Locke as a national advisor to the minority business development. This is an extremely high profile here representing India in US, right? She also served as US Commerce Secretary John Byers, Rebecca Blank, and Penny Pritzker under President George Bush and President Barack Obama administration from 2004 to 2014. In 2017, Ms. Warrior was invited by the US State Department to join Ivanka Trump at Global Entrepreneurship Summit in Hyderabad. And this is headquartered in Colorado. and where the National US India Chamber of Commerce is headquartered. Ms. Voria was selected to serve on the both Governors Owen and Denver Mayor Hickenloop's Asian Advisory Councils. She also participated in Voice of America TV and radio and many other shows as well. Thank you so much, Purnimaji, for coming to this show and giving us more insights about NUICC. Tell us more about NUICC, Purnimaji.
Well, it is a need-based organization that I formed. Um, if I want to tell a little bit history about it, in 2000, Y2K happened. After
Mhm.
that, there were about 85,000 job losses in Colorado Springs, which is outskirts of Denver.
Mm.
Basically, there was a big fear in the business community. I was watching on Denver Post, which is our local newspaper, bad India, taking our jobs away, outsourcing this and that. So I saw a fear in the business community. And where there was a fear, I always see an opportunity. So, and anytime there is a negativity about India, I don't take it. I take it upon myself to bring it to light how India is a shining a bird of gold, and India really doesn't need to take away anything. Rather, India always gives. So at that time when this happened, this fear, I thought, what can I do to help? At the time, there was the first NRI conference that happened in 2004, where Vice President of India, Sri Bhairu Singh Ji Shekhawat, my godfather, invited me to the very first NRI conference. And it was not just a conference, it was actually my career path that began with it. Because when I met the Vice President, I told him, I really love both the countries, Papa. One gave me birth, the other one raised me to become who I am. And at the time, I became the advisor to United States Secretary of Commerce in the Barack Obama administration. So I told him the only thing I can think of is two things I know. One is business, because my father was a businessman, came from a business family, understand networking, business deals, how the customer is always right, and those kind of things I learned early on as a 10-year-old with my father. And when I said that to Bhairu Singh Ji, I said, I think if I start a national US India Chamber of Commerce serving all the 50 states of United States and promote bilateral trade as well as international relationship between US and India so that we are not misunderstood, he said, Kar beta, mera ashirwad hai. And that was it. That gave me a pump up or sort of a baron ka ashirwad that really uh, I felt confident. If you know the number two man in the country and you still cannot do anything, I think that's a detrimental thing. So I never asked him for anything. I will tell you very, very honestly, Praveen. But I took his blessings, and that was more than enough. And I didn't need anything after that. So that's when I came back from India and I spoke to the governors, the mayors, the congressmen, the senators, the business leaders, CEO of major companies. And I took about 8 months taking them to lunch and talking about this that why India and US will be doing business in the future years to come. At that time, there was no business really being done. We were only talking about nuclear deal, US India nuclear deal, and Manmohan Singh ji and President Bush were all talking about this, but not really. That also didn't take place. So for people to think that a business organization will survive and thrive in this was a little bit hard. But one thing that happens is you build a reputation of integrity and you do things in the community prior to what you want to do or you want to cash in. That plays a big role. I was very much into Republican Party, was very involved with the businesses. I was all the way to the National Republican Party women's thing. So did a lot and built credibility with business people as well as the party. So that certainly helped me because I had friends at the highest places through that. And whether it's Democrats or Republican, everybody who does business, everybody has a goal in mind. So fortunately for me, That was my asset in all these people. And I was very fortunate to have Ambassador Sam Zachem be the co-chairman of my board, and Senator Mark Udall was also co-chairman. Why did I pick Senator Udall? Because he had climbed Mount Everest 4 times. He has dipped in River Ganges. He knew India very well. So this was a carefully thought out who's going to be leading this organization. And all the rest of the 47 who is who that I talked and explained why we need this organization. You will not believe I've been very fortunate. Every one of them is on my board of advisors. They said, Purnima, how can we help you? And I said, lend me your name, which will bring instant credibility to a brand new organization. So this is how the National US India Chamber of Commerce took birth. And I was fortunate to be the founder and CEO. And in the first 2 months, we did $1 million deal with India. And I'll talk more about it later.
Wow, phenomenal job, Purnimaji. And I'm very, very anxious how vice president can become a godfather. What was your touch there?
Rajasthan. I am
Rajat?
from Jaipur, Rajasthan. Bhairu Singh Ji Shekhawat was 3 times chief minister, then became the vice president of India. He was in the Jang Sangh party before. My father was also. So my father also supported in the Ram Bhumi. He was ready to take bullets on his chest. So they all, Advani ji, and they all went for Ram Bhumi, but luckily Advani ji, my father, everyone was arrested and sent back. So luckily, my father survived, or he could have been part of those many bullets people took on their chest for the Ram Janambhoomi and to upkeep our Hindu religion and philosophy.
Great, great, Purnimaji, and hats off to all of your work because bilateral trade. I think it's a topic. It was not a topic initially, but you made it happen. And I would like to ask you, in your journey, being a woman, how did you manage? Did you ever had some challenges during your journey?
Absolutely, a lot of challenges, even from within our community. As you know, our community can be our biggest support, but we also have crab mentality where we'll pull legs, and
Exactly.
especially a woman. How the heck did a woman think about doing this? We are the men, and we are it's all over Asia and the globe that we have a male dominant society. So there were few elements that were completely demoralizing me at many times. But you know what? I just thought that this was a passion because I love both the countries. And I also, this also took part because in 2004 also, I met with a misfortune. I had a tragedy in my life which I had to convert into triumph because I had 3 daughters that I had to raise by myself. And by tragedy, I mean divorce. Divorce can be a bad thing. People say, oh, I'm so sorry. But I said, don't be sorry. I'm like a lotus. I bloomed right after this. Otherwise, I would have been a housewife, a mother, and led my life and died in peace. But probably God has had bigger challenge for me and a bigger vision and and a life that I needed to live and be a role model for many women who go through so much challenges in life. Some of them commit suicide, but I wanted to be an inspiration. No matter what happens, you stand up for yourself and do what is right. And my love for India, I have just published a book with co-authored with other 6 authors which is called Falling in Love with India. And my Indian roots helped me to be strong and be a trendsetter in what I'm doing today.
What a confidence! What a confidence, Purnimaji. Definitely, definitely, who are watching this show, every woman will be proud of you and they'll inspire from your work. And
I think
tell me,
men too, I would say.
of course, the work what you have done, it's common to everyone. So tell us more about. I know that you have started this organization in 2004, right? Soon after 2004, I see that you were appointed by U.S. Secretary of Commerce. How did this happen so soon, so fast? Everything was were in the inceptional phase, and you were already in the limelight. How did this happen?
It happens because you build a reputation for yourself. Didn't happen overnight, I can tell you. A lot of hard work that I put in the Republican Party with the businesses for United States. I was very well known, as you mentioned, being on the Governor's Advisory Council, being on the Mayor's Advisory Council. We had 200,000 Asians in the state of Colorado. But were they business partners with Comcast, for example? But no, because Asian community was never looked at as customers by them. So there were corporations that CEOs that I was talking to, I just told them, do you have them as your customers? And they said, no, tell us what we can do. And I would tell them what to do. So I have been already doing all this in the community. The chamber actually just gave me a platform to do it officially in the with support of all the elected leaders as well as the corporate CEOs. So I think uh, over the years, my serving selflessly, and I would in the when you go today, I know that Indian communities supported Kamala Harris. We are all proud of her as a woman, as well as first vice president, woman vice president of United States. But today we are very much in the political arena. During those times, in 1995 onward till 2004, I was very active. And I also took a lot of courses like Leadership of the Rockies, which was very political, how to be a politician, how to get into mainstream politics. I was told many times to run for Senate, but I somehow don't have that interest of running for an office. If I do it, I would do to improve education in this country because I think we coming from India have a lot that we can
Learn.
impart to the country here. But other than that, I feel that politics, uh, in my mind, is a dirty game and never wanted to muddy my feet in it. And I felt like without being a politician, if I can be a leader in the community, a community organizer, I could probably do better than going door to door. And plus, I had three daughters that I could not leave home and just kind of do all this work. So maybe there was a that reason also, and I'm very fortunate that I made that decision because it was in a way sacrificing a political career, but at the same time today I have three wonderful daughters and I wear the crown of motherhood with three shining uh, gems, I would call.
That's
Dr. Pooja Voria, who's a breast cancer specialist. My middle daughter is in an industry where very few women are there, which is oil and gas industry. She works for Liberty Oil and is their investor relations and finance person. My youngest one is director of global digital sales for IBM. She has 350 people under her, and she is responsible for $5 billion sale of IBM. So you
awesome.
can imagine these last 25 years raising them by myself, moving into the political arena, supporting businesses, supporting the governor, supporting the mayor, all this brings you credibility. Nothing goes in vain, I will say. So always do good, always give. When you give, you shall receive. And see how quickly this happened. Going to your question about the United States Secretary of Commerce, it
Mhm.
was an opportunity just like for anyone else. I filled out the form, didn't think about it after that. 8 months later, I completely forgot that I did that. I do some things for fun, not really to get something, achieve something. A lot of people run after awards, accolades. I really don't care because what I do to me is award. My life is an award today when I'm so happy serving two nations that I love so much. So there are so many things you have in life. Some are for achieving financial gains, but to me, whatever I do is a passion, and my passion turned into a business opportunity for me and bread and butter as well. So this is how it happened. I received a letter from United States Secretary of Commerce saying you are one of the finalists, 100 finalists. And I
Wow.
said, yeah, right, 100 doesn't mean a shit, forgive my French. But I was not hopeful at all. Then I got another letter saying you are one of the 25 people. And still, I didn't make much of it. Then I got a call from Washington, D.C., 2 weeks after that. And they said that, Mrs. Foria, you are advisor to the President of the United States and to the Secretary of Commerce for MBDA, which is a federal agency for growth and policy making of 13 million minority businesses of US. Minority in India is MSMEs. Here it is Japanese, Chinese, Korean, Lamang, Vietnamese, so Pacific Islander, and so forth. And so they said that 13 million, I know you said 5 point, but now it's 13 million minority businesses which is a $1.3 trillion economy of US. So what a gift I received from God to serve the
Incredible.
country that made me who I am today. Because when I did get divorced, I didn't know left from right what to do. Only in United States, a land of dream, you can achieve anything you set out to be. You must have the confidence and the gut inside to succeed. That's why I call it tragedy into triumph.
Incredible, incredible. I think you have all the features, and I'm sure for that's the reason you got all the blessings here. And
I would
and
like to add a little bit to this story, which is two
sure.
days after I was appointed, President Obama was going to India.
Okay.
Me being newly appointed and president is going to my country, I was like a little baby, bubbling with joy to go. And I called the USIBC that was doing the president's trip and vetting everyone and so forth. And everywhere that I called State Department, they said, no, 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 Mrs. Warrior, it was all done 8 months ago. We vetted everyone. You cannot be on Air Force One or Two. Sorry. So then I said, ab kya kare? I said, you know what? One of the people who admired me was Ranjana Khanna. She used to be heading the FICCI in Washington, D.C. She was
Yeah.
one of my fans because she said, every newsletter you send out every single day, Purnima, is so informative. I love it. And same thing Mayor Hickenlooper said, who's now a senator.
Mhm.
Hickenlooper in D.C. is a new senator. And he said, Purnima, I love reading your newsletters between US and India. So I didn't realize that it was really admired. I was just doing it because I wanted to do it. I wanted to educate people about US and India, and that's all. Didn't have any big agendas. So I called her because FICCI and USIBC were partners in hosting President Obama. So I said, Ranjana ji, I need a favor. She said, what? But before that, I also called New Delhi US Embassy, and they said, no, 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 you cannot go with President Obama. And, the rules are rules here. But we Indians are jugaru. We always
Exactly.
have the jugad system. So my jugad was with Ranjana ji, and I said that, I want to be on that trip. I don't care. I'll take Lufthansa first class. I don't have to be on airport one, but I want to be in that room in Mumbai where President Obama is going to be with all the conglomerates of India. And there were only 80 people invited to go from United States. And 60 were us, and 20 were Mukesh Ambani, Rahul Bajaj, and all these kind of people in that room in Oberoi Hotel. So anyway, Ranjana ji said, "आप चिंता मत करो, तैयारी करो. I'll
Wow.
take care of you. जब तक आपका सब कुछ होगा ना, ticket wicket लोगे, तब तक आपका सब हो जाएगा." And I didn't know, but you know what? I bought my ticket. I was at the airport, and I was thinking, you know what? What the heck? If nothing else, I'll watch it on TV. But I was it at the airport. Before I was going to board the plane, Ranjana called me and said, Purnima ji, aram se jao. Everything is there. You'll be in every meeting with Obama.
Wow.
So, this is where
Made it.
networking helps.
I
And
think your confidence that
Lieutenant Governor of Colorado has given me the name Networking Queen. So my networking is what helped me start the chamber. My networking is what helped me get on that trip with Obama. I was also on the trip with President Trump. So it just one thing leads to another, and your name gets out there. When you do something right, people know. They just like my newsletters. I never knew who's reading them, but at the same time, people are watching you very carefully. So never think that oh, I can just do this. Who cares? No, every step of the way, whether it's in political arena you're helping or whether in the business world, if you're unscrupulous, believe me, your name will get out there and you'll be crushed in no time. It takes years to build your reputation. It takes one wrong move to lose it all. And my father taught me that Vyavaharikta is very important. How you treat people is very important. I used to feel very stupid when I was a 10-year-old. My father used to take me to Bharat Singh Ji's Shekhawat's home. Every time I went from India to meet my parents, he would say, Unse milke jana. And I used to wonder why the heck I need to meet him. But he was chief minister when he attended my wedding. So there was a relationship my father had with him. And if I if he didn't teach me to nurture that, I would not have relationship with him. So every time I go to India, whenever I went with CEOs or whoever, the first thing I would do is go to the VP house, touch his feet, and say, Papa, I have to go to Bangalore for meetings or Jaipur for meetings. इजाजत दीजिए. And he would say, जा बेटा, मेरा आशीर्वाद है, पहले ये खाना खा के जाना, आज त्योहार है. So this is how Vyavaharikta is in Rajasthan. So I was invited to have lunch with the vice president, and he would say, "Coffee loge, chai loge, whatever what you want." And the CEOs would look at me and whisper to me, "We are having tea with the vice president of India." I said, "Yeah, he's just Papa. It's not a big deal." So the name got out here. Anything to do India, the woman in the sari. Although I'm not wearing a sari has been my trademark in United States, and I always am seen in a sari in one of the magazine, actually this one, which is Divapreneur. They called me an international divapreneur, and said sparking international trade by connecting her motherland to her homeland. So whenever they said, one of the reporters took an interview from Colorado and said to me that Purnimaji, and they all call me Purnimaji. I taught them that this is a respect. So all the Americans call me Purnimaji. And these are little things I share with them. I shared culture when I was doing the Republican stuff by having my daughters dance. They play sitar and they do Kathak dance. So we would always contribute by having a program, fundraising program. But this is the way my daughters were also well known to all of them. So a reporter said that when Purnima wears a sari and enters the boardroom, heads turn. But when she sits down and begin giving her knowledge of doing business with India, deals begin to happen. And I thought that was the sweetest thing someone could have written about me.
Awesome, Purnimaji. Awesome. I feel bad now. I was in Denver for 5 years and I couldn't meet you. Maybe, we
Well,
are
come again, you have a home.
sure anytime.
I'm an
And
empty nester. As I said, all my three daughters are working for large corporations, and there are 4 bedrooms, so three actually.
sure. And Purnimaji, how come anyone didn't come in your line of way? Any of your daughter really did come in your way, being a community leader, serving the people, and doing all for the community.
Just to let you know, my daughters are very much immersed in the community. They have done all that they could. And even today, my youngest daughter, Rakhi, serves as the women president of IBM. She used to be the co president also in Microsoft, leading 25,000 women worldwide.
Awesome.
She actually invited to me to be a speaker. And guess what? Microsoft didn't want me to talk about business and National US India Chamber of Commerce. They asked me to talk about how I came to this country, how did I single handedly raise my daughters, and how did I become an advisor to Obama administration. What is that journey? And so when I was fortunate, and my daughter also needed a free speaker because they didn't have a budget at that time. So I said, okay, I'll help her. But every one of them gave me a standing ovation for 10 minutes. I've never seen that in my life. 200 attendees, but it was televised globally at all Microsoft offices. And people were crying. And a lot of Indian girls came to me, Auntie, I'm going through a divorce. What do you think I should do? Auntie, how did you how did your daughter get to be at this place? Because Rakhi was moderating Satya Nadella in town halls. So, and right now she's at IBM doing the same thing. She was doing the opening bell for NASDAQ, ringing the
Awesome.
opening bell. So my daughter, Rakhi especially, is exactly like me. And the other two are also, they all dance, when they played the sitar at events, Gandhi event and all that, they very much know that community service is very important. One thing I would say to the parents is that my daughter was 4 years old when I became single. And I told my daughter that you have to come with all the meetings. I was serving on Denver Center for the Performing Arts because as a culture and arts leader, I presented a show called Celebrate India with 800 people in the grand ballroom of Denver Center for the Performing Arts. It was a fabulous event. And after that, 2 years later, I did Celebrate Asia, in which I presented 8 countries. So event planning, dance, music, all that is part of my life, through which I already presented all that to Colorado community, and they had high respect for India. So that was I think I say that I did the background work already for many, many years. And now when it came to the Chamber of Commerce, everyone was with me because they understood our culture. They had Indian food. Every lunch I went to, I would take them to Indian restaurant. I would teach them not to roll up the roti and use a fork to pick up the sabji. I would tell them, use your 2 fingers and the thumb. This is for breaking the food. When you eat the food with hands, it tastes even better. So
Greatly.
my daughters were part of this and they still are. And there's nothing they will not do for the community. Uh, and at present, I'm working with Project Cure to send 150 beds to India, ventilators to India, many things. Project Cure is an organization right here in Colorado, and the CEO, Doug Jackson, and his parents are very, familiar with me, and they have spoken at chamber events. And they send containers to every country in the world.
Wow.
And when they wanted this crisis came, Doug said, Purnima, how can we help India? So we have 2 plane loads waiting to go to India. And so there are people, it has to be always not just you. There are many people that come into your life like angels, and they support you in what you're doing, and you support them with all the great. This wouldn't happen. Project Cure wouldn't be doing this if people didn't have respect for India, and just like India gave to the world when vaccines were needed, now everyone else is coming globally. Every country wants to help India in this dire hour of need.
Of course. That's really great, Purnimaji. Purnimaji, coming to this bilateral trade, right? You
Mhm.
being a national advisor, what are the few achievements you can be proud of?
The biggest achievement is that after serving the 10 years before Obama's tenure was over, we wanted to make sure that this disparity between the minority businesses and the mainstream America businesses the gap is closed.
Mhm.
Why? How can that happen? When we identify, we find solutions and present them. SBA is doing similar things like MBDA is doing. So why there is a need for MBDA? So we put a thing together that why this agency is serving a unique boutique of people or from various backgrounds. And many times, big corporations, even H-1B visa, as soon as it opens, you have seen large corporation run for it and it's over. So when is the MSME or small SBA, small business administrations that serve the small businesses, when will they ever get to be able to get some IT specialists here? There is a
True.
big disparities. We need to identify problems and then give a solution. President doesn't have time, and many times he doesn't even know. And Secretary of Commerce enables all this because it's his job to make commerce happen, not just for one person or the other, but for the entire United States of America. He's supposed to serve the US. And so were we appointed. When we took the oath to serve the United States of America, I had 2 years drop because this was my time to serve United States and I could not represent India. That was the oath I took that I'm going to be loyal to United States of America and do what's best for America. But
That's
being a Chamber of Commerce CEO, I have always was doing things for India too, so it didn't matter. But we presented a report to President Obama. The report went to the White House. It identified a couple of things. One was like minorities have problem with access to capital. We have problem with networking. We don't have as many resources as big corporations do. So
You're
there was
right.
a very intensive report that was presented, and how the government also needs to support the minority businesses by all these grants. And you have seen during the COVID time how many billions and were given to even minorities. Even Chamber of Commerce has got $10,000, no questions asked. Our chamber didn't take it, because we wanted to leave the money for people who are really needing, the restaurant people, the people who are really closing down. One of the Indian community members in New York, husband and wife, very famous restaurant they opened, and Nukkad was the name, I believe. Both
Yeah.
of them committed suicide. My
My
heart
God.
goes out because there is a solution to everything. And unfortunately, I don't know if they've incurred a lot of loans. I don't know if they lost hope. I have no idea about their personal challenges. But I feel like, you have to turn tragedy into triumph. Always see opportunity where there isn't any. Don't wait for knocking the door. Kick the door to open for you.
Wow. Nicely said. Nicely said, Purnimaji. And in your conversation, I caught up one thing is networking, right? Networking plays a great role, especially we Indians when we are in the United States of America. Networking is very important. We always try to be in our own world.
Yes.
So, on this topic, have you done anything to make awareness to the Indian population there?
Yes, I was 2 times president of India Association of Colorado, which helped me serve our community. In our community, again, I faced a challenge. Our community, like you said, does everything within our own self. We'll have celebrate Diwali, we'll celebrate Holi, whatever we want. We are a shy community. Not today. I'm talking about 20, 25 years back when I was the president. We never wanted to engage with anyone.
Yeah.
I invited the governor of Colorado. He was a Democrat governor. I invited the mayor of Denver, who was also a Democrat mayor. But I was a Republican, see, but I play both the sides. A bipartisan is how I have to remain if I have to run a chamber of commerce. Otherwise, we lose our license. We have to participate in both. But when I did that, everybody was mad at me. What does Purnima think she is doing? Why is she invite bringing politicians to our thing? Who told her to do so? Blah blah blah. But today they now invite every politician at Hindu temple, at every place. But at the time, I had to take the heat. But you know what? You don't become gold without taking the heat. You rise and shine only when you are put through a lot of. So, to my fellow Indians, I say thank you for what you did to me. Because of you, I am who I am today.
Yeah, I think probably you had a vision long back, but people didn't understand you better, maybe. You know,
I can say
definitely.
they still probably don't understand me. So it doesn't matter. I forge ahead and I do what needs to be done.
Sure. Purnimaji, we are coming to the end of the show. But before that, I started this show to bring awareness of the great leaders like you, great organization like yours, and how that will be helpful to the NRIs, whether it may be USA or whether it may be in India. My goal was to bring it to everyone and have everything recorded and put for them, right? So, as a part of this theme, right now from NUICC, how this is benefited to a businessman, to a small business, or an individual, and how
So
can he be part of this?
just to let you know, at NUICC, we serve as a business consultant to small and large corporations and industry trade associations, help business market and source their products and services in India or US, vice versa. Qualify local partners, identify roadmap businesses that are entering Indian marketplace or US marketplace, provide legal taxation, regulatory help, and offer in-company training. And over the past 15 years, we've grown to 10,000 plus members across the wide spectrum of industries, and we have connected companies all over the world with visionary businesses and government leaders and accelerate trade and investment in US, India, and other countries. So, with saying that about the services of the chamber, besides the stories I told you, I thought we should professionally speak about what we do. But I think networking, as you said, is very important. Whenever I go to India, last time I met Nitin Gadkari ji for about 45 minutes. Remarkable man. I'm one of his biggest fans. For MSMEs, he's doing a lot. And I said, I want to connect 1 million MSMEs of United States to 1 million MSMEs of India. If we can do that, Gadkariji, India can reach the $5 trillion economy just between you and I, our
Wow.
efforts alone. And that's what I want to work, because unless you make businesses succeed, you are not helping them. When it comes to NRIs, one thing I'm absolutely sure about us NRIs is we love India. We want to contribute to India, whether it's a small monetary contribution or being a knowledge partner with India or whatever we want. We all yearn and love our country because all our relatives are still there. Our roots come from them. And when a person forgets their root, they wither and die, just like a tree. If the tree's roots are not strong, the tree will not survive. Eventually, it'll become hollow and it'll be on the ground. The same thing with us NRIs. We want those branches in India through our relatives, through our philanthropy work. A lot of organizations here are doing a lot of philanthropic work, raising a lot of money. But I think what you are doing is a very serious work. And I commend you for doing that. And congratulations, because you are providing a platform to NRIs, people like me, to speak their mind, to give their all the thoughts. And if each and every one of us can bring more people together to your show, one by one, and there can be many question and answer kind of a session too, like a webinar where you
Exactly.
can where you can sort of swift the crowd, and I think you can play a very big role in providing that platform, providing that strong TV channel, or just like TV Asia. What it did is give us a voice.
Mhm.
Now we need to take that voice and we need to share our wisdom with India, and between India and US, I would say, because US also needs the same thing. There is something that I got involved with, movement of positivity started by Dr. Dhaneshwar Mule. What
Mhm.
a beautiful thing to happen. I think post COVID, we need a positivity vaccine, which
Exactly.
means all of us have to think positive of India. Don't worry about the corruption. Corruption is worldwide. No country is, even United States. I say that what we call corruption in India has a very fancy name. In United States, we call it lobbying.
Being.
Same game, different name. Okay. So I feel that don't bash India. Uh, See what you can do, how we can do it. But India also, we can use some help from the government. I have a call with Vijay Chauthewala ji. I'll be speaking to him regarding what we can do between our NRIs and India. But at the same time, that we need government's help, because Project Cure, like I said, it want to send all these two plane loads of equipment, but India is allowing only, for example, just the breathing equipment and related to that, or vaccines, which is custom duty free. For the rest, they are taxing them very, very heavily. I think it's unfair to an organization like Project Cure, who is giving everything for free, including shipment. They have fundraised to get the shipment, the plane loads to be sent to India. If India is going to tax them, I think there is something is wrong. So we need to correct our system. Hopefully, our ambassador in Washington, D.C. will take note of this. I'm sure your program is going to be seen by a lot of people all over the world. So NRIs all over the world can come together, not just US, but it's a great start. And hats off to you, Praveen, for even getting this started in the United States.
Thank you, Purnima ji. As you said, passion drives this. In this pandemic, I didn't go anywhere for the. I do this reporting as a passion for TV5 and Mana TV. And during this pandemic, I don't know what to do. I was used to at least one day to be socialized. I
Yes.
was going mad, and then I started seeing that what can I do for the NRIs. So in our state, there were going some LRS related issues. Then I took that as a starting point, and then I started this show. Believe me, everyone who has been part of this show, they are pushing me to the next one. They are giving me new contacts, And that is where even you have come into this show, Purnimaji, and I know that with your passion I can get to the next level. And I was always looking through how to help them, because when they come to India, how many issues they face. Being into a media, when I come to India, I face a lot of problems, but we all try to help India. Always we try. So now it's our turn to how to help to NRIs to be, smooth ride in India too, and also in US. That's the great thought, which is really this show.
But
So
a
hopefully.
suggestion I have, Praveenji, you should get one person from India as well, just like Ambassador Dhyaneshwar Muleji, because
Mhm.
who's doing movement of positivity and also is appointed by Prime Minister Modi to connect all the universities and all the education facilities here. So he's doing a lot of good work, and I think it would be good to ask them question how NRIs can help India, because
Definitely.
you will get the India side of things, because we may want to give them money, we may want to do Akshar Patra, we may want to do Ekal Vidyalaya. These are all our brainchilds. But
Yes.
I think we need to also include India in this thought process. I feel that we are very fortunate that in this administration we have many Indians at the White House. This is a time to interview them too, get them on board, because they will be our biggest supporters of India when it comes to the India policies, India, changes, policy changes that we are talking about. We should help our Prime Minister also by leading. We are all very prominent Indians here. Let's make a group for interacting with the White House in this arena where we can talk about policy changes, custom, uh, you know, uh, I know President Trump had so many issues because, and they were the right issues, because when Harley Davidson went to India, it was 100% duty. And
Yeah.
when any export comes from India, it is 0% duty. And that's why Trump was mad. And then he and Modi ji had two calls. And the Modi ji said, "Hi, you did 50% kam kar diya humne customs." And Trump said, "Aha." Then Modi ji called again and said 70% kam kiya, which is a good effort that our prime minister did. But Trump was saying, and we give you 0%. So kaha fair hua? So these are the things we NRIs can help, because everyone, so many of us are getting a good reputation, Indian community. But there is one problem we have that our whole country is facing, which is the Asia bashing, or the crimes that you are seeing. And now, in the past 1 month, we have seen a Sikh person die. We saw 8 Sikh people die. So we are also becoming the part of mainstream America for the Asia hate crimes. So it is very important for NRIs to work on in that direction also, because we are going to otherwise not be safe in this country as we were before. We are the
Exactly.
top 5% in the nation. We are the cream of the country. We are contributing a lot through IT and artificial intelligence and whatnot. Artificial intelligence is a $23 billion opportunity uh, in 2024. So we have CEOs like Satya Nadella, Arvind Krishna, Sundar Pichai. Maybe they need to come aboard. Maybe you need to bring them on your show as well. It can happen slowly and steadily. It'll happen, but
Definitely.
we need people like them, because Asia hate crime, if we don't address it today, it can become a very big thing, and we may not be able to live as peacefully as our generation has lived. Climate change is one thing, but we need to keep our children and grandchildren safe.
Definitely, Punnimaji. I think we all need to strive towards that and keep the peace as the number one agenda. I know that you are also doing a lot of things in the peace mission as well, and I think it's 2 to 3 hours is not sufficient with you, Punnimaji. The amount of positivity you brought on this show and the amount of inputs you have given me for the NRIs to help. I'm sure that I'll be with you after this show too, and no matter you might be my godfather, who knows,
Godmother.
So
Absolutely,
before
anytime.
the last question I would like to ask you is, I know that you have a lot of awards, and also you have been in the number of newspapers, TV channels as well. Tell us one award which made you so happy for your work.
Hmm. I think not an award, But what I received when I went to India with President Obama, there was an event with then Commerce Minister Kamal Nath, and
Mhm.
also um, the Minister of Secretary of Commerce here. But he was, I think, not the Secretary of Commerce, but of International Trade, South Asia Trade. So he was there, and when I had a question for them, because they were putting some things for MSME, and I said, would that also work for MBEs here, minority business enterprises here? And so before answering the question, the South Asia director of United States said one thing to me before he answered, that Purnima, first of all, thank you for what you do for United States of America. We are grateful to you. I think that was the biggest award I could have received in my
Definitely.
home country, in front of my fellow
Yes,
Indians. I just looked up and I said, Mom and Dad, I wish you were alive today. I think
definitely.
that was my biggest award. Other trophies and all that, they come and go. And behind me, you can see a lot.
I,
But,
I
really, to me, when your name is associated with pride in your own country, or in the United States, that is the best award you can get, because no one can take it away. Just like education is right here, no one can steal it, but your jewels and everything else can be stolen. So this can never be stolen from me. I'm grateful to United States for giving me this kind of accolade. And really उन्होंने नवाजा मुझे एक अच्छी उससे जिसको सारे हिंदुस्तान ने देखा. And I got a lot of calls after that you really made us proud. So I think that's it. That's the award I need. It feeds my soul, what I do. And I think there's one thing you do to make a living, the other thing is to feed your soul. Doing the National US India Chamber of Commerce and its work really feeds my soul for both the nations. Thank you
that's
so
a
much.
great comment, and I'm we all think so too. And Purnima ji, um, after doing this show, I think I've done like 20 great people I have interviewed, and I've started thinking to do how to bring a sudden thought has come for me how to bring the leaders from US and India at the same place. For example, I was talking to the Hyderabad mayor, and now I want to bring the Atlanta mayor. But it is taking time for me to bring these two great people. The
There
reason
are a
I
lot
want
of
to bring it
protocols and a lot of decision
exactly,
makings.
exactly. But what I wanted to show is we wanted to share the different perspective from their cities and how can we become better, because
I
now we
have
are
an
more.
answer. I have an answer for you.
Yeah.
I am the chairperson of Denver Sister Cities, Chennai.
Hmm.
Chennai is in Denver Sister City. Sister cities would be a great one for you to get the mayor of Denver, mayor of Chennai,
Okay.
and put them together, because then economics will happen, cultural sharing will happen, um, helping each other during COVID times, those kind of things will happen. Sister cities and sister states. Sister states are a little bit slow right now, but sister cities are a global phenomenon. We have sister cities international in Washington, D.C., and we have locally in most of the states, we have sister cities. Some are sister cities with Hyderabad, some are with Bangalore. So find out, and I can help you with that if needed, that find out which sister city, instead of just going for Atlanta out of the blue, find out which sister city's mayor is engaged with Hyderabad sister city.
So I think
That will
maybe
open your doors for that.
I just believe me, after one of the show with one of the CEO who was a from IIT Mumbai. He is a mentor for entrepreneurship.
Mhm.
After his show, one of the person called me and he was explaining me about this sister city. And glad that you bought here so that we can connect and build the momentum from here. I think thank you so much. We have so many questions. Maybe if I require another call, we will do about the piece, what you are doing. That might be really interesting to all the NRIs, and who knows, people might be interested to contribute to your mission. And Purnimaji, before we end this show, I would like your final comments to the audience. all the NRIs? What you want to say?
I would say that be connected to your roots. Like the tree's roots have to be intact for us and our children to grow in the same with the same values, with the same opportunities that we get in United States. We have to continue what we received from India as children and give it to our generations after generations. Today culture is going away very fast with the challenges our children are having. They are sitting with iPads, they are sitting with computers. There is no human interaction. Many times we cannot take them to India, for example, COVID, but find out ways. I think the positive thing about COVID was that I did a lot of webinars. I am so connected to India in every possible way, speaking at various webinars and all that. So even if it is FaceTime with your relatives, even if it's FaceTime with whatever you are doing, FaceTime with Hindu temples still having the arti, virtual arti, it is important. And second thing I would say is always never underestimate your kids. We often think that they should be engineers, doctors, and so forth. One thing you can do for your kids is take them to the meetings if you can, wherever you can. My 4-year-old went to office with me because I didn't have a babysitter. My two daughters were in debates on a Saturday. So I have a photo of her 4-year-old sitting in my lap, and I was doing my office work at US West at that time. And the same thing I did with Denver Center of Performing Arts. I was a board member, so I took her to my board meetings. I would buy her McDonald's or Taco Bell, and I thought that she's just eating and killing time. And I would do my meetings. Guess what? She tells me today, and Rocky Warrior is her name. If you Google, in every interview she has given, she has said that my mom taught me networking at an early age.
Early
Sitting in
age.
those boardrooms and seeing her make very relevant decisions taught me how to do those things. Today, I'm an executive at IBM because of my mother.
That's a
So,
great.
so this is what I would like to leave that, take your children and show them the path. My father was a visionary. He showed me to be visionary. And that's the reason I'm doing what I'm doing today. I'm grateful to my parents and their upbringing. And I'm grateful to India and leadership like Vero Singh Shekhawat who encouraged me and gave me the blessings. Because sometimes just saying that you have my blessings is the only thing you need from parents.
Exactly.
So parents give your blessings to the children no matter what, because
That
they do have a lot more challenges than we ever did. We were protected by our parents. We were protected at home, then by the husband in my case, and so on. But our children here have a lot of challenges with drugs, with drinking, with sex, many things that we don't want to talk about. So please include them in everything and make sure that you are there for them. And that's my advice. And continue to do global business and continue to do enhance the GDP of India. I would, in the end, say, Vande Matram, God bless America, and God bless India. Thank you.
Thank you, Purnimaji. Salute to you. And what a wonderful work you have done. And finally, you have told a very good message to everyone during this pandemic how we need to be and how we need to upbring our children in these new generations. So, definitely, with that said, our viewers, thank you so much for your time. And we will get more leaders, more inspirational people with more awareness programs onto this show. So the next show will be Seva International. During this pandemic, they have also done lot of Seva, real Seva they have done in India and US, and I'm going to bring them on board and make people know what they do and how they do. Thank you so much, Purnimaji, for your 1 hour time, and I'm sure that you have enjoyed this show and people might have learned a lot of things from you. And thank you again.